Good morning. Welcome to the Carla Marie and Anthony Show as Carla Marie fixes her hair for all you fine people out there.
I will never understand how people can look cool with wet hair. Like you see
Who looks
models
cool with wet hair?
their like slicked back wet hair. I just always look like I'm going to a cheering
Yeah,
competition.
models also usually look like they're on crack. So, I don't know if cool is what I would say they look, but who knows?
Banana clip.
What?
Can you see my banana clip?
That's a banana clip?
Or no? Yeah. Well,
Why is it called the banana
I
clip?
think banana's the longer one.
So what's that?
I forget.
A Maduro clip? The little bananas? A plantain?
Jinx.
There you go.
No, you can't talk.
Yes, I can.
No.
I have to apologize to everybody watching. So, I normally hate when people do this, but I have a lozenge in my mouth.
I thought you were going to tell a dream.
No. And it's because with all the smoke we've had here in Seattle, my throat last night and today has been killing me. So I threw in one of these guys that I picked up in Vancouver, Canada.
Yeah.
And it's a honey lozenge. So if you hear that clicking in my teeth for the next couple minutes, I apologize. I hate it, but I need it.
It's so bad here.
Mm-hmm.
I've never experienced wildfire smoke like this. And here's the crazy thing is, it's been going on visibly, like you can see it from far away, for close to a month now.
Mm-hmm.
But these last 2 weeks, it's been amped up. And it was bad when my family was here. We got a chance. They could see Rainier a bit. I got them far away from the smoke. They could see the Cascades.
Because you went north, right? And the fires to the south.
But also Vancouver, like BC is having fires as well. So these last 2 days, our air quality was close to 300 at one point yesterday.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And when I was watching the Mariners game on Saturday, the announcers mentioned that, or was it the football? Maybe it was.
You told me they talked about MLB rules.
Okay, so it was in the Mariners game. But either way, each sport, I guess, has a limit in terms of air quality because obviously you're sucking in a lot of air while you're playing a sport. And 200 would have been the limit where they would have thought about delaying the game. And yesterday was like 287 or something insane.
It's crazy.
And luckily the Seahawks are
away.
Away.
Yeah.
They're away this weekend, so they don't have to worry about that.
I started closing my windows because it makes Max sneeze.
Yeah.
And now
It's also just healthier.
I know. I just have the purifier on, windows closed. I can't wait to get to Vegas.
Yeah, Aries Saucy said, I heard Seattle has the worst air quality right now. We actually have the worst air quality in the world. I just sent the graphic to my friends, actually. We are worse than New Delhi. We're worse than cities in China that have, like, terrible air quality consistently. Let me find it.
Well, it's bad. You, like, look out. Normally, it's far away. You can see the smoke. You look out my window. And across, you can see smoke.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing this city right. It's in Pakistan. Lahore, Lahore, Lahore. Then Delhi, India. We were over them. Chengdu in China, and then Portland, because Portland's obviously dealing with very similar stuff that we are here. Then Dubai, then Beijing.
But
do you know Italy's on this list?
What if they got little mopeds? What
Milano,
are they doing?
Italy.
What are they doing?
Is number 10 in worst air quality in the world.
It's crazy that this is never would have crossed my mind in my life until we moved here.
Oh, well, yeah. We don't really deal with this stuff in
I got
New Jersey.
186 right now.
Mine should be the same, but they've been different. I'm a 203.
We'll stay over there. Wait, purple is worse. Better.
Angela in Spokane said, we've had our air quality in the hazardous level many times. It sucks. It's the reason why I have 4 air purifiers in my house. They help a lot. I don't like to leave my house when it gets to the hazardous level. It's awful. Yeah, and that's the thing. Yesterday, Carla Marie and I went to Capitol Hill. We didn't walk around a ton, but we were still outside a little bit to get from one place to another. And I think that's what did me in. And I haven't even, normally I've been walking to the gym recently. The last 2 days I haven't done that because I don't feel like sucking in all that smoke.
And when you're inside for a bit and you walk outside, you can it smells like someone is building a campfire under your nose. And I can feel the dryness on my lips.
I'm pretty hydrated, so I don't know if I can feel it. You're not really a hydrated person, you know? We are at level 5 of the boost train, but we're 40% of the way there. We have a minute and 40 seconds left or so. And if we do get through level 5, we got one more mezcal shot to take.
I didn't tell you to put this on the list, but I got to talk about it. Mouth bugs. I don't know how I didn't even tell you this.
Mouth bugs.
Last night, like 10 p.m., I'm drinking my seltzer in a can.
Okay.
And I sip the seltzer, put it on my desk, and walk away. And I'm like, ooh, something's tickling my lip. And since my mirror, it's normally a cat hair that I can't see.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let me go look in my mirror so I can find it. There was a tiny, like if you took a pen and dotted it on a paper, right? Brown. I can't even call it a bug. Like an amoeba.
Do you have fleas?
Crawling on my lip. Like
you have fleas, definitely.
Well, brown?
I don't know. I don't know what color fleas are.
Yeah, but I haven't had anything else. There's not just one flea. And I was like in the mirror and I was like I couldn't even get it. It was so tiny. And I got it and I'm like, is it actually moving? And I'm like looking. And I'm like, okay, I'm not losing my mind. It's moving. And I was like, Togs. But you were editing the podcast and didn't hear me. And I was like, I just need to move on with
what would I have done?
Well, I wanted to show you.
Well,
but then I don't even know.
Bug lady, get the bug salt. The worm salt. Pour up those shots because we did get through boost train level 5. So thank you very much to everyone who did that. Now let's switch the screen real quick.
I think it was the can.
It could have been.
Because it was in our closet for a bit.
It very well could have been.
Why are there bugs? How did they get in here?
What do you mean?
I don't.
Your cats roll around in the dirt outside and then they come inside.
Okay, but you did. I had bugs in my apartment.
No,
how did they get inside?
Because they're small, Carla Marie. They're on sneakers. They're on our clothes. The other day there was a ladybug on my backpack.
Oh, that's good luck.
According to someone, it is.
No, it is.
Oh, you know what? This thing didn't update. Give me 1 second. I hate when this happens.
Wait, you didn't tell me you had a ladybug? How many dots did she have? You flicked her, didn't you?
I didn't flick her. I just let her do her thing. I wasn't really paying attention.
Were you outside?
No, I was in the gym. And I looked down and there was a ladybug on my backpack.
No, you have to get it outside.
Why? She chose to come inside.
Maybe she was on somebody else by accident. You can't I tell you all the time you have to put the bugs outside. They don't want to be inside. There's nothing for them to eat or drink in there.
Yeah, that would have taken me way too long to take the bug from upstairs level, the 5th level of the building all the way outside.
Care.
Not happening. It's just not happening.
Always put them outside.
That's rude. All right, this should update now. Let's see. Give it. There we go. There we go. What?
I've read the list and left.
Oh. Would have been extra cardio. You are correct. So, on the list today, how much to spend this holiday season? Carla Marie's got another list for you. Carla Marie booked a topless hotel in Vegas. We're going to talk about that. And there's a typo there. Do you need to disclose your children on dating apps?
Don't give your answers yet.
Yeah, don't jump in.
Fix the typo.
Now I got to open up Photoshop. This is what happens. Okay,
on.
well, pour the shots, Carla Marie.
Wait, I got it.
We got a lot going on here. And also nothing at the same time. What are you doing?
Texting someone to see if they could discuss.
Oh, the person who brought this up?
Because I don't want to.
Make sure they've got the right number.
Well, no, we're not there yet. I just want to know.
And I will have the phone line ready for anyone who does want to call for that one, because I'm sure there are people who have very strong opinions about it.
I think we're going to need to do another radio lesson because
what do you mean?
Our friend Nicole and Sean, they moved to San Diego, right?
Okay.
Nicole was texting me this morning to let me know, please let your friend Erica know I listen to her morning show every day.
Oh, cool.
I think her show is so much better than 94.1. So I sent it to Erica. These are San Diego stations. And Erica said 94.1 is our sister station.
Okay.
Just like letting me know. So that means it's the same company. So I text Nicole and I'm like, oh, that's her sister station. And she's like, but isn't every radio station a sister station?
Oh, well, no, because there's the two terms you use. You have your sister station and you have
your close.
Yeah. Well, no, because your sister station would be in your cluster.
Your competitor.
But then you would have the station they're across the street, which is a weird thing that they were across the street. Then he went across the street and worked for whatever Odyssey. Wait, 94.1. What station is that?
The person. Okay, well, we're gonna put them on blast.
Why?
Because they said they can do it next week.
Yeah, that's not how this thing works. Oh, I know. We know them. I know one of them at least on Star 94.1. But I can see that because Star 94.1 is more of like a
right.
slower,
Nicole was like,
more music type station.
literally said Erica's station has so much more energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how they're built, and that's why multiple companies will have multiple stations in a market because they're trying to make sure they get a little bit of at least the main demographics in that city. You know, it's that there are some people who love Elvis Duran in the morning on Z100, and then there are some people who can't stand Z100 and only listen to Power or only listen to KTU or only listen to Q1043. And it doesn't matter to iHeartRadio because they're making all of the money.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
But Nicole comes from years of TV, and it's crazy because TV is just so different when it comes to that.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah, sister station means you're in the same company or the same cluster. We refer to all the cities that are owned, all the stations that are owned by the same company in a city as a cluster. There's the Seattle cluster, San Diego.
But you could also say, I remember listening to Z100 during the Yankees-Red Sox, I guess, World Series.
Okay. Well, ALCS probably.
Yeah, early 2000s.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably the ALCS.
I was still in at least high school. And I remember Elvis calling Maddie in Boston, who's no longer on the air, and said, we called our sister station in Boston. And I was like, what? We have, there's another Z100? And I had no idea.
Yeah. I haven't heard a lot of that recently. That used to happen all the time.
Actually, Erica texted me yesterday and was like, how well do you know Rach on the radio in Philly? And I was like, I mean, I've met her once. We talk on Instagram. She's like, okay, good, because we've been wanting to get her on the air because the San Diego Padres are up against the Philadelphia Phillies, and they wanted to do a little cross.
They should.
They are gonna.
As they should. Well, Elvis is the morning show in Philly, too.
Yeah, but I think Rach has been, like, going to games and stuff.
Oh, okay. I did see, I think she works for a non-iHeart station in Vegas, but she used to work for the same station that Erica works on now. Steph lives in Vegas now and took a flight to San Diego to watch the Padres game yesterday, and then a flight back to Vegas to get back to work today.
It's crazy.
And I was like, that is so badass.
Yeah.
And I have so much respect for people to do that.
She's awesome.
I had the guy who actually got me into radio. His name is Bartel. He worked at stations like everywhere. Now he's at 103.5 KTU in New York. I don't know if he still does this because I think his position at work is elevated, so he might not be able to. But for years, he would go to every single Philadelphia postseason baseball game. Every Phillies postseason game he would fly to.
Yeah, that's cool.
No matter where they were. It was crazy.
So 2 things. I think we should get Steph and her host that she works for, Mercedes, on the Morning Show podcast.
Yeah.
We'll do that at some point after the baseball is done because she's probably very hectic. But I have already, this is messed up, but to go this far ahead, but looked up when the World Series would be if it becomes San Diego versus Yankees.
Oh, yeah.
We have to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always wanted to go. When we were still working for iHeart, there was a chance that the Yankees were going to play. If they beat the Astros in Game 7, we would have played LA in the World Series. And I had told everyone, I said, if the Yankees play in Los Angeles, I have to go to a game. And we had a studio reserved. We had like everything. Told all my bosses, and then the Astros used garbage cans.
Yeah, well,
and then
let's
won
make
the World
sure
Series.
they don't have garbage cans this time.
I think all garbage cans are removed from
No.
from their dugout.
Can't have nice things. Not even garbage cans. They belong in the garbage cans.
It's the first time anyone's referred to a garbage can as a nice thing. Let's take the shot and move on with the show. What do you say, Carla Marie?
Okay.
Ooh, Mikey's bucket list is renting an RV and doing a baseball tour. I did.
I'm jealous you did that. I think I'd like that.
Let me take the shot first, then we'll.
I like baseball.
I like baseball.
What is that from?
I don't know. I like turtles.
Yeah.
I like turtles. Where is that kid these days?
In college.
He's got to be, right?
Yeah.
He's got to have turtles of his own at this point.
Oh yeah, Martha, you've never. Anthony talks about this baseball stadium tour every other week, and it happened in 2014.
I do not talk about this every other week.
You did it 2014.
Cheers, Carla Marie, to you for being the bartender. Cheers to Seattle Cocktail Club for providing the booze.
Wait, we didn't even say it.
And more importantly, cheers to everyone who supported the stream this morning.
We're having Banez Mezcal Artisanal Joven Magway.
Artisanal turkey?
Tepidzate. I just sound like I did a spell. Tepidzate. I'm going to Spanish lessons.
Yep. Or just stop reading that. Cheers, Carla
Can you
Marie.
do it?
Oh, I sucked down the lozenge with that. That was interesting. What? Read it?
I actually like that one the best. Out of the three we've had.
Panez, mezcal, artisanal. Okay. And then that last word you tried to say?
Well, that's this. This is the company.
Okay. Tepestate. That was how I would say it. There we go. Any I was gonna say French, any Spanish
Who's
people?
Joven?
Isn't Joven or Joven Turkey? Didn't we learn that?
Oh, that's Pachega.
Oh, then I don't know.
No, that's breast.
What? Okay, so back to baseball lists or baseball trips real quick. One of the cool things I was able to do back in 2015 or 2014, no, maybe before that, 2014, I guess.
It was 14 or 15. I think it was 14.
Anyway, my friends at the Roosevelts at the time weren't really selling shirts the way they do now. They were a media company that had a website that had partnerships and marketing opportunities, and they were going to do a marketing campaign with Windows. And at the time, Windows had their phone operating system, Windows Phone. And it was going to be the baseball bucket list tour. So we were going to use their phones and go across the country to go to all these different baseball stadiums and do bucket list items at every stadium.
Now, you went along to film it?
Yes. So they needed someone to do all their video work.
You were gone for 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
You timed it up with an Elvis vacation and then an extra week,
Yes.
from what I remember.
So I took a week off of Elvis's show after the whole show had a week off. And they started, the only one I missed was actually Yankee Stadium because it was my birthday. And I was down in Atlantic City seeing Jim Gaffigan for my birthday. But every other stadium I went to, we did 12 ballparks in 11 cities.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you did them all.
No, so the
Oh, they
Roosevelts
did.
previously, like 2 years before that, did 30 ballparks in 30 days.
Yeah, that's...
And they had to time it out where they were literally like watching a game and driving to the next city or
Well,
hopping on a
what if there was
flight.
a rain delay?
They lucked out and didn't have to worry about that.
I love baseball. I would like to see all of them.
Yeah. All the baseballs?
Yeah, because the stadiums are like... There's normally, like, meaning behind baseball stadiums. I feel like, not meaning, but, like...
They're different.
There's a characteristic. There's something
Yes.
unique that's not just a circle.
Yes, because they're designed differently. And at the time, the reason baseball stadiums don't have specified outfield measurements is because they had to fit them into cities at the time. So you weren't, back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, you weren't clearing out space to build a stadium. There was a city planner that said, hey, you want your team? There's a block on 161st in the Bronx, and you can take that block and figure it out. So they just had to fit stadiums in places,
Crazy.
whereas now you like level entire areas and make a ballpark
That's
or a
cool.
stadium or whatever, or an arena.
Yeah, like even Fenway Park.
Yeah.
As much as I hate the Red Sox.
And
it's
Fenway
cool.
for a long time didn't even have a wall. The reason they have the Green Monster is because at some point they built the Mass Pike or whatever it was.
Last night on the
Mass Pike. They built that behind the stadium. And up until they built that highway, there was no wall. And then they built a highway there, and they're like, well, we can't just hit baseballs into this thing.
That's great.
I don't know if it was the Mass Pike, but there's a highway there. There's a major road, and that's why they put up the wall.
That's cool.
That's it. Meg said, I dated a teacher who spent summers touring baseball stadiums. It was really cool. He could do that. Yeah. Being a teacher and having the flexibility to do that over the summer, if you don't have a family and you have enough money to do that, it has to be so cool.
And you don't eat for the entire year to save your money to do that. It's great.
Let's see. Jen and I went with our friends to San Diego a few years ago, and there were people who couldn't find our seats. Wait. And we were the people who couldn't find our seats.
Yeah, my
That was a
family
nice
couldn't
stadium,
find their
too.
seats.
I've been to San Diego. That ballpark is nice. I think my favorite, man, Wrigley is probably my favorite baseball experience outside of being a Yankees fan, like going to that ballpark was really cool because when I went, the Cubs were terrible and it was a day game. It was 105 degrees in June or July and they still had a lot of fans there. Even though by that time in the year, they were already not a non-playoff team.
Hmm.
It was just an event. Like everyone from the city kind of goes to the day games.
I never did Wrigley.
As a stadium, if you remove the experience and the teams, Milwaukee was probably my favorite stadium.
Is that where you can be on a boat?
No, that's San Francisco, which we did. We took the little kayaks out in McCovey Cove, and we hung out there for like 3 innings.
Fred the Mailman said, watch the PBS special about how the Dodgers stole the land from the poor Mexican people living in the area.
Yep. Yeah.
Does PBS have a streaming platform yet?
Probably. I feel like everyone has a streaming platform. Yeah, a lot of times stadiums are put in places where poor people don't have the funds to fight that battle legally. So the city just gives that land away and there's no one to really fight it or afford the fight. Which is actually one of the things.
Pay you a lot of money.
It's one of the things, you know how a lot of people talk about the Keystone Pipeline?
Yes.
So one of the things that happened with the Keystone Pipeline that not a lot of people talk about is the plan was originally drawn a little more direct, and it would have actually gone through some nicer neighborhoods and been buried under those nice neighborhoods.
But
those people had the funds and the legal connections to fight and have the pipeline redrawn or remapped. It was then mapped under Native American land because the people drawing those plans figured, you know what, we're not going to get as much of a fight from the Native American community as we will, or at least we can beat that fight, right? We win that fight. And that's where all of that stemmed. The original
plan knows that first part.
Was not supposed to be under Native American land. It was supposed to be under rich white land, rich American land, if you will.
Which is not even.
So, Julie, thank you very much for the posture check. Appreciate that. And the dams in Washington.
Yo, your foot, you're manspreading over here.
I'm not manspreading. It's like right with the leg of my chair. Moving on to the list. We've strayed enough. How much to spend this holiday season? I'm hoping the number is 0, but Carla Marie has a cute little graphic that we're going to talk about.
So,
ready?
Mm-hmm. The Skim posted this, and it's pro tip. If you're starting to budget for the holidays, here's a rule of thumb. Aim to spend less than 1.5% of your annual income. So, for example, if you make $100,000 a year, spend $1,500 max. Now, someone messaged me when I posted this, and we're like, we're talking about gross or net? I'm like, whatever you want.
Yeah.
My family has an illness where they spend minimum $200 on each person. And there is no grab bag. There's no only buying for kids. Like, once you have a kid, my mom was like, I'm only buying for you as a couple, then I'll get you like a gift card and a bottle of wine or something, whatever. My Christmas list is like 20 people.
That's a little crazy. Yeah.
I know. So I said to my family this year, I said, my max I'm spending on everyone is $50.
I think $50 is more than enough.
Other than my godchildren. That's normally where I'll draw the line.
I think $50 is more than enough. I've also, and I try to tell people, like, I don't need stuff. I just don't. Like, so there's not a lot of, and I try to usually compile a little list because people will ask my mom or sometimes ask you, like, oh, I want to get Anthony something small for Christmas. I'll try to put together something small, and it's stuff that I would have bought by myself, and I've taken like a break from buying things.
Right.
So maybe that helps. But we as humans have so much stuff.
There's something I was just going to say. Oh, my brother last year. My brother's, whatever his love language, his only language is buying gifts.
And that is true for some people.
Yeah, he loves it.
They show their emotion by spending money on you. They show their love by spending money on you.
But guess what? I can't do that back to him. But last year, he got us the over the edge thing. Not over the edge. What was it called? We went
the climb.
the climb, and
Miley Cyrus,
I
the
just got like
climb.
nervous thinking about that thing again. That was pretty wild. And we climbed around the building in New York City.
Mm.
And he like texted me ahead of time and was like, "Are you gonna be home?" We went like the day after Christmas, I think. And he like booked it.
Mhm.
And that was cool. It was an experience. I came back with no physical thing from him other than the little thing for my car, which is actually very useful. That helps to not make things fall in between
Oh,
the
he
seats.
got you that?
He got me that. Because I think he wanted me to have something physical to open on Christmas.
To be honest, I hate that thing mainly because it is useful and it works. It keeps things from falling. Like my phone has hit that a couple times and didn't fall into the crevice there. But because we both sit in the driver's seat because we share a car,
Oh, it moved.
it makes like a weird sound when it slides up and down.
Okay. Jules said, "My sisters are older than me and one had kids early." Oh, why is it doing that? Go away. I'll
What?
just have to, I can't read this part of the message.
Why are you clicking on things?
What? I'm going to pin it for 20
Here,
seconds.
no, here, do this. You can. Okay, you have to pin it for 30, so we'll do that. Done.
Oh, God, there's only, what?
I don't know what's happening here. You ruined
Well,
everything.
unpin. No, go, let me.
Move it.
Okay.
There.
Jules said, "My sisters are older than me, and one had kids early, so her kids are grown, and the other had them late, so they are little. I
Okay.
no longer buy for the grown kids, and my sister gets mad about it. No one should get mad if you get something good. If not, move on. If you no one should get mad if you get
You know, what is the cutoff? There's that. There, you literally had an option that said unpin this message. So, what is the cutoff in your family? Like, what designates a kid? Because you have
The
two
rule-
nieces that are what, 18 and 19. Do they get gifts from everybody?
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone gets gifts from everyone. But your
So-
gifts, I'd say the ruling is once you get married, you start getting like gifts together. Although my brother got us a gift together last year.
Mhm.
But you start getting like gifts together. And once you have kids,
They
you
get
cut-
the gift.
for the most part, yeah, you'll get something.
So
small.
what happens this
s-
Christmas with your sister Ashley, who's
She-
due like a month after Christmas?
She makes the cutoff this year, but that's it. It's funny. Most of us in the family are like, grab bag, grab bag, grab bag. And she's been the one that's like, you guys can do grab bag, but I love buying gifts. So I'm buying everyone a gift. I don't care. Now let's see what happens when all of a sudden next year for Christmas, she gets a little knocked down on the gift level because she's got a kid.
So my family, we have a very large family, and for years our Christmas celebration was like 30, 40, maybe even 50 people.
It's disgusting.
And there were a lot of kids that were around the same age for a long time. So early in my life, like every kid got a gift from the aunts and uncles. We as kids never bought for anyone else.
Right.
Like the parents handled all that. Now that everyone's a little older, there are a handful of kids younger kids in the family. My two cousins are, I don't know, 13 and 11, 12 and 10, whatever they are. And then a couple of my cousins also have children.
Yeah.
They all get gifts, and everyone else does a grab bag normally, and it's usually there's like a theme to the grab bag. So it's books or ornaments or hats, whatever it is. For a while, it was gag gifts, and I shut that down a couple of years ago because I was like, we're really just buying each other garbage. No one's using
No.
any of this stuff.
No.
We're just buying each other garbage. We've had the jokes for a couple of years. Let's move on. But I'm trying, and I talked about this last year. I'm trying at least 1 year to convince my family to not do gifts at all.
And do what?
Maybe we'll exchange like some sort of themed thing, like books to one another that are under
Yeah.
$15. But instead of buying gifts, we all go on a trip.
I've been trying that. My mom's like, I can't, but where are we gonna spend Christmas? I'm like, we don't. What is
You can spend Christmas at home still, and you don't have to open gifts.
But
And that's why the very small gift is
we
there.
could literally go to Tulum. I don't know, anywhere with all this money.
And think even if in most families, if everyone just said we're not buying gifts this year, yeah. See, Mish is my cousin Michelle.
But it's the old people. Good luck wrangling them.
I think my
These
mom.
boomers.
I think my mom has warmed up to the idea. She does like buying us things, even if we tell her like we don't need a lot of little trinkets. She'll still buy all the trinkets. And my dad, I feel like I didn't get a good read on him, but the interesting thing is my dad doesn't even really buy gifts. So he should be the one that steps up and says, yeah, this is great.
He bought my gift last year.
Did he? Or was it something my mom told him to do? Probably my mom.
I get a Tiffany wallet. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was a nice gift, but it was also kind of a leftover. I told you this, no?
No.
Oh, and then it wasn't a leftover. Whoops. But yeah, I think if everyone buys really small gifts,
I'm in.
under 20
Do
bucks.
I come on the vacation?
Sure, you're allowed.
Where are we going?
Under 20 bucks, or like marijuana, I said, some sort of craft, make something for one another. I don't care. Whatever it is, don't spend a lot of money. And then instead, you can celebrate Christmas at home if you'd like. And then the next day, because usually the next 2 or 3 days
My brother always does a trip around Christmas.
are pretty easy. Go somewhere.
Yeah.
Go to a cabin somewhere. Go to a ski resort.
Although it's so expensive to travel. We should
Go to
go in
Bermuda.
January. We'll go in January when it's super cheap.
Whatever.
Just not this year. I'm busy. Claire and Olympia said, Carla Marie, do you still get a stocking from your parents, but your siblings don't? I forget what the criteria was. So last year was the first Christmas my sister was married.
Okay.
So she had, and this is the second or third Christmas that I've been alone with my parents in the morning, which is crazy because I've now had more Christmas mornings with my parents than any of my siblings.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, than any of my siblings because
Okay.
they all moved out or whatever, went on with their lives before. Too bad. I still get a stocking because I'm not married. And it's the best.
So it's just you, your parents, and your parents hanging up?
And their grandkids.
Okay.
No, not even. They just do great grandkids now. Because for a while, there were like 47 stockings hanging at my parents' house.
We used to have, like I said, because they're all of my cousins on my mom's side all went to the same house for Christmas for a long time. Now it's split up a little bit. But there were at a time when you add aunts, uncles, kids, it was like, no joke, like 30 stockings around my grandmother's house for a long time.
It like takes the...
And nothing was, I don't think anything was ever even in them.
The
In my mom's house, there are.
The stress of like shopping for Christmas and then the money stress of shopping for Christmas,
Yeah.
it takes the fun out of Christmas.
And the whole reason I've wanted to skip 1 year of buying gifts
Just to see what it's
is
like.
from, and I think I've talked about this probably last year or a different Christmas season of some sort. My old high school track and football coach, who's still there, Coach Watson. I remember 1 year I asked him, because he used to buy Christmas gifts, I believe, from my dad for his girlfriend or his mom or something. And I asked him what he was doing that year. He said, I took Christmas off this year. I was like, what are you talking about? He said, I told everyone, do not buy me a gift. Your gift to me is not buying me a gift. And I am not getting you anything. And this year, he said, I firmly believe everyone's allowed to take 1 year off. This year is my off year of Christmas. Can I afford gifts? Yeah, but I'm trying to save money to do other things, and I don't want the stress of any of it. And I remember being 15 or 16, and I was like, man, that is so cool that this guy was just like, nope, I'm taking the year off. Don't do it. And I love the idea.
Like, I just want to buy for my great nephew.
Mhm.
I like
Here's
buying
the
for
thing,
my
though.
nieces, but
Your great nephew,
I'll tell you what,
does he care?
get
No.
Alyssa on the horn right now, and she will tell you all of his favorite gifts are things that I bought him.
No, but he doesn't know you got them for him,
No, he does. That's why he knows who I am every time we FaceTime.
I'm sure.
But I said that's because I actually like Google the best gifts for a 2-year-old, and then I'll look into like, okay, the best like gifts for cognitive learning that they like using. I literally got him giant gymnastics like blocks last year, and she says he just rolls around on them all.
So what does everyone else get him? Italian sausage?
But, like,
Gabagool?
some stupid toy. I don't know. Like, it lights up. My
Let's
sister's
see.
buying him a vacuum this year.
Jen said for our nephew's first Christmas, we gave him diapers. Well, that's more for the parents, I'm
Yeah.
assuming. And then the other thing with
Like,
kids,
everyone's
too.
going to buy Ashley's baby a gift this year, and it's not even born yet.
Borned?
Yeah.
Born.
Yeah.
Why
I
is it-
just...
Oh, okay. I'd much rather go out for dinner or something fun with everyone than exchange gifts that nobody needs. Very good point, Vicky. Let's move on from Christmas, though. I feel like we've spent a lot of time on Christmas. It's already 8:45. Jeez.
We started a little.
Carla Marie booked a topless hotel in Vegas. So yesterday,
I get it.
I was like, let me see what amenities this hotel that Carla Marie books
Not amenities. You
has.
said.
Specifically, the gym.
Okay. Does it have a
And-
Peloton?
Does it what?
Have a Peloton?
I don't know, but where our friend Colleen is staying, they have Pelotons in their gym
I
if you
want
want
to
to
give
go
it a
there.
whirl.
So I'm looking through all of the amenities, and the gym is like at the very bottom. They have one picture of it. But as I'm scrolling down, I see that there is a European style pool. And I was like, wait a second. I know what this means. And it's a topless pool, which I've been to other hotels in Vegas
You've seen
that
boobs?
have offered topless pool experiences, I guess, because you don't have to be topless
Did
when
you
you
see
go
the
there.
boobs?
I think there was one woman who walked around topless.
But that was in a separate pool?
Well, it's essentially an adult pool. Like, you're not supposed to have kids there.
Yeah.
I think
But-
that was where did I stay? This was years ago for my brother's 21st birthday. And I can't think, maybe
Michael?
the Rio.
Michael or Justin?
Michael.
You guys went to Vegas?
Yeah, a bunch of my family members went. So, like, because my brother turned 21 and my cousin Mark, I believe, turned 30 that year. So he came out. Some other cousins were there.
Can you please clarify that the whole hotel is not topless?
Yeah, just the pool.
Part of the pool. It's not even the whole pool.
Well, no. If there's a non-topless part, it's a different pool. You can't have part of a pool be topless.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
So
It's like a nook.
they offer a topless pool or a pool where you can be topless. The
I'm
rest
gonna
of the
go.
hotel is, I believe,
I'm going to do it.
fully clothed.
Finally get rid of some tan lines.
Go for it. Someone said Caesars offers a topless pool. Maybe that's where we stayed. We're not staying at Caesars this trip, but I guess it's a thing. A lot of
But I want to do
resorts
it.
in
Are
Vegas.
there phones allowed? Can people take photos?
I mean, they're probably not supposed to, but at the same time, how are you going to stop? Like, what if someone's paying with their phone? Like, we're at a point in society where you can't really ban phones, except for maybe a
At weddings.
comedy show or a wedding. Even weddings, do people ban phones anymore? Like, I would love to ban phones.
We did at our friend's wedding, the last wedding we went to in Canada. They mentioned the woman, the officiant
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, there are amazing photographers here. Let them do their job.
Yes.
And there was like someone like, and they're like, oh. I watched them come
Yeah.
back to the place.
I think during the ceremony, your pictures stink. Stop taking wedding
Don't
pictures
even-
at ceremonies. Let the photographers do their
You
job.
can't.
The rest of the party, enjoy. Take
telling you-
take your reels and your TikToks and everything.
People spend like $11,000 on wedding photographers to have your great aunt that you don't even know do this with her
Yeah.
iPad. I would, lady, you're out.
It's Meg, not Megan, said Bobby Bones banned phones at his wedding, and I know
Well,
Bobby
some
did.
people you check them.
And
Carolina,
who now works for 103.5 KTU in New York, she used to work for Elvis' show. She banned phones as well, and a lot of that is for security, because believe it or not, there are people who, if you tag a picture on Instagram or something or in your story, there are people who will go through a wedding party for celebrities or radio personalities, and try to find out where the wedding is so they can go. And it's sad that, like, Bobby had to hire security
Mhm.
for his wedding because people in the Bobby Bones listener community were trying to show up.
It's crazy.
And it's that balance of,
I don't
yes,
think anyone would care enough to us.
we want people to feel like this is a loving community that you're a part of, but also there are times you need to step away and have your wedding. Like, and just enjoy yourself. But that's one of the reasons Carolina did that too.
She also just didn't want people being on their phones.
Yeah, it was both.
So I brought a digital camera and lost it that night, and I have no photos from that wedding.
That's right. Yeah, the B team, as Bobby calls them, they can get a little crazy. But every community has a part of it that gets carried away. Like, even with Elvis' show, there are people, like, Elvis had an actual stalker. Multiple people on that show have had
I
stalkers.
used to have to report when she called in.
I used to have to walk Elvis home. I was Elvis's chaperone and bodyguard, like, dozens of times.
What if we ever get married, do a separate wedding for all of the EMHs? Like, we do a party somewhere
Like a reception?
in Vegas.
That
finally.
works. That works.
And we can get married at we can do the Elvis thing.
Sure.
Like Presley,
Yes.
not Duran.
Well, Duran could if she shows up. That'd be great.
It'd be so fun.
Next thing on the list. So we talked about the holiday season. We talked about Carla Marie booking a topless hotel in Vegas, which I don't even think we're going to be at the hotel that often. And
All
our
day
hotel
tomorrow.
pools.
I'm literally not leaving that hotel pool tomorrow.
Our hotel pools
It's
open.
gonna be 90. It is. It's 90 degrees tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
I look.
amazing.
What's the weather in Las Vegas tomorrow?
88 degrees. 61 is the low.
Okay.
And then Saturday is 82.
50.
Saturday is 82 and cloudy, which is actually good, so we won't roast most of the day.
But at night, what are you wearing? I had a dream that I was at a Panic at the Disco concert on the beach, and I brought my teddy bear, and Brenton Urie left in the middle of the show to come sit with me and talk to me.
Awesome.
And I took a selfie.
For anyone who was wondering, because I know we talked about driving down to Vegas because tickets were expensive, and why not take a road trip? We decided that since it's such a short trip, spending 30 or so hours on the road probably wasn't worth it. And we found, I wouldn't say cheap tickets, but we found reasonable tickets for about $350, $360.
So we get in today, and we're back here by 10 a.m. on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's going to suck.
The crazy thing is, flying, when you think about what you're doing, you're getting onto essentially a rocket, flying through space and getting somewhere very quickly. $360 doesn't sound like that much, but that Vegas trip I've been able to make for about $120 at other times. Last thing, and this is where we do have the phone lines open. This took over our group chat yesterday.
I don't know that we're going to truly scratch the surface.
I think we will.
Let me make sure this.
Do you need to disclose your children on dating apps?
And we're not talking about, this conversation is not, do you need to post photos of your children?
Yeah.
It's not that.
Do you need to tell people on dating
You are
apps
a parent.
up front, before you meet them, before you know them, that you have children?
Now, before anyone calls, let's get into the conversation. Maybe we can get a poll up also.
Okay.
We can say who it is because they said they'd call in next week.
Yeah.
Too late. So Jake messages,
Jakey, big mistakey.
baby Jake, and said he had been messaging with this girl. They both swiped right, matched. They had been messaging.
Mhm.
He went on a first date with her to find out on the first date that she has a kid.
See, and this is where Carla Marie and I disagree.
We disagreed, like, straight down.
I think it's courteous to let the people you're going out on a date with or in the dating pool with know that you have a child? Yeah, it's courteous, but I don't think it's necessary.
Hold on. Erica P in the chat, I think it was Erica, said, you don't need to disclose it, but I will absolutely not keep dating you after the first
And
date.
that's fine, but this is the problem that I have with dating apps. I think we've gotten to a point in society where we treat dating apps the same way we treat restaurants on Uber Eats. You expect to get exactly what you want immediately.
Okay.
And I don't think that's good for anybody.
So here's my thing with your example, which was okay when we were all talking about this in our group chat, was something along the lines of, well, if you met someone at the bar, the first thing they say to you isn't going to be, I have kids. However, that's not how we use dating apps or why we use dating apps or any of that.
So
Michelle's trying to call.
Is it not ringing? Hold on one second. Before I out everyone's phone numbers. Nothing came through. Is she calling me?
She said, Michelle, call the phone number.
Is she calling my own phone? Let me double check.
Well, she just said, call me.
Oh, no, that's not how this works. Call our phone line. It's there. 201-305-0894.
It's right there.
That's not on the screen though.
For you to say.
Oh. Is it? Huh. There it is. 201-305-0894. Hit us up.
Michelle.
201-305-0894.
Call the show number, not mine. She's just laughing. We were like, it was like heated in the group chat.
And it was a good discussion.
Yeah. Jake, John, and I, which is oddly enough, did not at all agree with what this woman did, where Anthony and Ricky were like, no, you do not need to disclose that you have kids. And I was like, you guys are completely out of line.
I don't think...
You can't go back on your words,
No,
sir.
I don't think... I'm not. I'm trying to say this properly. I don't think you need to disclose it up front because, A, you're talking to strangers. Strangers don't need to know that you have a child.
Yeah, but go look at... I can't look. I don't have the apps. Go look at everything that they say.
I'm sure that there are a lot of women out there who haven't even been given a shot because someone says, oh, well, she's got a kid, whatever, it's baggage, this and that.
But that's fair. But those people who say that are not people who should be raising children or helping raise children. I'll tell you right now, I would absolutely not date someone who has a kid because I don't even know if I want my own spawn, let alone someone else's.
Oh, did that?
What
the
is
screen
happening?
just updated, but nothing happened. Okay, that's weird. I don't know. I come from a school of thought, I guess, where you don't owe strangers more information than you feel comfortable giving them in that moment. Now, if you go out on a date or two and that person still doesn't know you have a child, I think that's weird. Who are you calling?
Michelle.
Oh.
What happened?
I don't know.
Your thing is off.
Hello.
Michelle?
Hi.
Hello.
What's up?
So you called about or you wanted to call originally about the dating app thing, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think?
Okay. Here's the thing. At first I said yes, like you have to disclose that you have a kid.
Okay.
And hear me out. This is why, regardless of like who you're dating, if like why would you want to hide anything? Like if you're dating with purpose, like why does it matter? The person who you're gonna be with is gonna,
Yes.
date you anyway if you have a kid.
Okay.
And then if you don't put it on there, it's like sometimes people just feel tricked. So I kind of get that, like how Jake probably feels in this instance where it's like, well, why didn't you tell me? Because like I wouldn't have wasted your time. I wouldn't have wasted my time. That's gas is expensive.
No, and I understand that. But what I would counter with is it a waste of time if you're getting to know a new person? Not every date is going to end up in most dates are going to end up with nothing.
I know that,
right?
But like,
so is going out on a date just to meet someone an actual waste of time? Or do you get to just meet somebody and learn about yourself, learn about another person? I don't know. I'm all for it. But I also love meeting new people in general.
Well, and my thing that I said was my dating profile would 100% let someone know I had cats, right? And I know I'm not comparing cats to children. I'm comparing it to someone saying I'm allergic to cats and I will never date someone with cats, or I just don't want to date someone with cats. And that would be on my dating profile because that is a huge part of my life. Having a child is a huge part of someone's life.
So let me ask you this question, because I asked Jake this yesterday when we were in our group chat. If having a child is a non-starter for Jake, right? Like it's just not going to happen. He doesn't want to date anyone with a child. Shouldn't it be his responsibility then to, in his profile, put, I am not interested in anyone with children? I know it sounds mean.
I told him to, and he said he's adding it.
It sounds mean, and people might hate you for it, but if that's how you feel, you should be the one to put that out there then. Maybe.
I mean, yes and no, but like you also have to, there's an option on dating apps to say if you have kids or not.
Yeah, there's a lot of info.
Why are you not but like, I don't know. I understand what you're saying, like 100%. Because like you're saying, you like meeting people in general, and I also am a people person. And to be honest, personally, kids don't bother me, but kids bother a lot of people, and like it's almost like it's borderline like it's like being catfished in a way.
It
like
is.
That's a really big thing. Like it's not like saying like like Carla Marie said cats, but like it's not like saying I have cats.
Right.
I love you, Carla Marie, but like
no.
no, and that's not go on a date with like with you have cats. Like it's just like
yes. And what I'm saying is, it's not that big of a deal that I would have cats, but something like that would be all over my profile.
So Shayna FC in the chat has a good question. She said, again, the question is, why are you hiding it? Why are you trying to hide it? And I don't know if I consider not being upfront about a child necessarily hiding it by definition. I think it's simply, this is a stranger and they don't need to know everything about me immediately.
Yeah. Okay.
And I know that that's an unpopular opinion.
It is.
And I'm okay with that.
So,
Michelle, have you ever met anyone on a dating app who had a child? Have you met a guy on a dating app that had a child?
Yeah.
Did you know up front that they had a child?
No.
And how did you feel?
Well, I told you I don't really care if somebody has kids. It's not something that bothers me.
But did you feel catfished?
I mean, like, because it doesn't bother me, no. Because like I don't care. Because I like kids. Like it's not gonna like people have passed. Like to me, it's like the way I grew up is very different. So like to me, it's like just so different.
So then,
but like to somebody who like one of my best friends, like she's like, I don't want kids. I don't want to even think about kids. Like if somebody had a kid, there's like no way I would even go on a date with them. Like I can see like, and I said this to her, she was like, don't you feel tricked that you didn't know? And I'm like, well, personally, like it doesn't bother me, but like I can see why, like, you know what I mean? Like
so then let me ask you
like,
this. How did you, at what point did you find out that that person had a kid?
it was on the first date.
Okay.
It was like within like an hour. And he's like, you know, I have a son, right? And I'm like, no, but okay.
See, I kind of like that.
No, I would be like, oh, I gotta go. Like, okay. So Desiree messaged this in the chat. She said, if I were to find out a guy I was talking to had kids right now, I'd politely remove myself. I have my own shit to worry about. I'm not going to raise someone else's kid at 22.
And that's fine. And that's okay. Michelle, we are going to let you go, though, in case anyone else is trying to call, because I don't even know how this phone line works in terms of putting people on
All
hold.
right.
See you soon.
All right, you guys. Bye. Love you.
Love you. You look
I
great.
think she was saying you look great at the end.
She looks great.
Let's go back to the main screen here.
But why did it not, like, it didn't ring? It just
don't know.
populated that we got a missed call.
I don't know.
Google.
Hopefully that doesn't happen again. This is why we need a phone op or something. We needed a Carla Marie for Elvis' show.
Yeah. Good luck.
What are you clicking
I
around
think
for?
we have do not disturb on.
This is what Carla Marie does. She will not leave things alone. Just leave it alone.
I'm fixing it.
You're not fixing it.
You don't even know how to work technology.
This is
You should
I
put
do
that
all of
on
this.
your dating app.
Everything on our screen I put together. Anyway, back to the topic of do you need to disclose your children on dating apps? I will go back to the fact that I think it would be normal, right? And it's courteous to tell people up front. But at the same time, we've gotten so used to a world where we know everything about everyone and we get everything that we want immediately.
Yeah.
That we expect that to happen in personal relationships too, and I don't think that's the reality. It's okay to hold back some of your life from people until you feel comfortable.
Some of your life, yes, but not a thing you are responsible for. Fred said, not telling me you have kids up front is like not telling me you're still married. You have obligations that I haven't chose to be a part of.
Yeah, and this is what I said when John was chiming in yesterday, because John was like, well, I don't want to raise someone else's kid. It is very presumptuous of you to believe that just because you meet someone on a dating app and maybe go out on one date, that all of a sudden you have to share in those responsibilities.
But if that's what, if the relationship gets to that point,
if they choose to let you in their life, you would.
Correct. Yes. But that if you are using a dating app to find something serious, then you 100% need to disclose that you have kids. If you're on Tinder and you're like, just want to have sex, you don't need to tell someone you have a kid.
So I guess maybe my problem, going back to what you just said, Carla Marie, is are we to assume that everyone you meet on a dating app is going to be a serious relationship?
Yes.
Why?
If that's what you're looking for, then that's what you're going to assume.
I think going into anything thinking, oh, this is going to be a, quote, serious relationship, I think that's an obstacle. I think you're setting yourself up for failure. Sometimes just go meet a person. Like this is what bothers me so much. Go meet the person. And if you hate them, if they have red flags, if there's things about their lifestyle that you don't vibe with, then don't go on another date.
You have to realize if people, you're saying that as someone who doesn't have to do that. If you were just swiping on dating apps, going on 3 dates a week, like Jake might be, it's exhausting. And it gets to a point where it's like you have dating fatigue and you just want to date the people that you know are going to be compatible.
Well, it's working now.
Jen.
Good morning, Jen.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing? So what do you, how do you feel about letting people know that you have a child or not have a child on dating apps?
Okay, so I don't have a child. However, I'm on Anthony Island for this conversation.
Thank you.
I completely agree with you. Not every relationship is going to lead to something, even if you click on a dating app. I think seeing someone in person is more important than that. And disclosing the fact that you have a kid
on the first date, I don't think it's appropriate. But if you see it going somewhere, I wouldn't let it get too long before you say something.
No, that is trickery.
Listen, I think day 1 and date 2 is where date 1 or 2 is where you should disclose that.
So you need to tell me you're on a first date with someone and you're there for 2 hours and you don't somehow talk about the biggest thing in your life?
I think what you can say at that point, and Jen, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what you can say is, hey, we had a great time last time we hung out. And I was just getting to know you. Obviously, I didn't want to throw this on you too early. Plus, it's my personal life, so I was protecting it a little bit. But I do have a child. If that's a problem, I totally get it. Because it is something that
that's
like
it.
that.
That's it.
Absolutely.
This is why I like Jen the most.
Imagine you're on a date and you're with someone, you're talking to them for 2 hours about their life, and they don't happen to mention that they have a child.
So what?
Oh my
I don't know. I think it's more protecting the kid at that point.
Oh, yeah, I'm
then
not
what
saying
if it doesn't work out?
But I'm not like, hey, I have a child. He lives at P32 Wallaby Way, whatever the address is in Nemo.
Way.
I don't know.
Well, Jen,
I think there's a way to do it, but I don't know that it's necessary to disclose it right away to everyone to know, yeah, I have a kid. I don't know.
Let's see. There was a comment that came in. I think it's from Meg, not Megan, that says, let me pull it up real quick.
Flabbergasted by you people.
Damn it. Where did it go? It's so hard to find these sometimes.
Right there.
Okay. Megan, it's Meg, not Megan said, I don't want to waste their time if I don't want to date someone with kids. They don't have a lot of free time.
That's
Who's
fair.
to say? Who's to say they don't have a lot of free time? What if they do? What if they have a crap ton of time? What if they just want to go out and have a drink with someone new?
Well, then they should find somebody who wants to hang out with them.
Jen, we're going to let you go. Thank you very much for hanging with us.
No problem. You look great.
You look great. Then they can go to like a PTA meeting and hang out with somebody.
So they have to only hang out with other people that have kids. It's interesting. I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer, and obviously this is all personal preference
Does no
in the
one
dating
in this
world.
chat have it's a single parent?
I'm sure there are single parents in the chat. We know that. Let's see. KK Maple Woo said, I'm also on Anthony Island.
Well, it's always going to be an island.
What?
Anthony Island or Carla? What if someone's on Carla Marie Island for this?
Well, I think more people are on your side,
Yeah.
which makes you not the island today.
Yeah.
Diana, again, why would you hide the information if you didn't know that it could potentially be a deal breaker for someone? Is there, and I'm kind of making this one up on the fly, are there people who probably write that off as a non-starter without giving it much thought?
Yes.
So that if you met someone that you really liked, them having a child probably wouldn't be a big deal. For some people it is absolutely a deal breaker. That's it. But like my friend Jim just got married recently.
Mm-hmm.
He met his wife while he was out here in Seattle on a trip. Just met at a bar, had a good time.
But
Then not had a good time, like did anything, but just they had a good time together.
I'm sure you need to find out if it was disclosed in that first meeting that she had a child. Because then after that's the difference. It doesn't matter if they have 47 kids. It matters if they tell you up front.
You know what? We're going to do this again on Monday. And over the weekend, I'm going to talk to my friend Jim and see if he'll come on and talk to us and see how that went.
Fred said, I have always disclosed that I had a kid, mostly to let the other person know that I have a priority that will always be greater than them.
Okay.
And that's not even the reason. If I met you at 22 and you had a kid, right?
Yeah.
And we still had this 12 years of friendship that eventually led to something, that's different because I have known this whole time. It's not that I would never date someone just because they had a kid. I don't think I'm ready to get into a relationship with a stranger.
Yeah.
That has a kid. I think that's different.
Adriana_90 said, I'm a single parent in a relationship now and on Anthony Island. Adriana, if you could call us, you'll be our last call. If you don't have time to do that, that's fine too. Just let us know in the chat. But I would love to hear your experiences dating as a single parent, and ask you some questions. Now, here's a question, Carla Marie. Wait, throw Anthony Island in the garbage, says Martha.
It's okay. Global warming's going to wipe out the island, Martha.
That's true. Yeah, we're going to be underwater very soon. We're right off the coast of Florida.
You're underwater.
What your niece has had a child before she was married. Now, if she was in the dating world, what?
Oh, for a second I thought we were talking about.
If she was on the apps, would you tell her that she has to put the
Yes,
fact that your nephew
100%.
Michael, your grandnephew?
I'm not saying you got to put a photo of him and his blood type and his address. Just I have a child. You don't even have to say a boy or a girl.
Okay.
People are acting like just because someone says they have a child, someone's gonna come kidnap that kid. It's all over our Instagram.
The number is 201-305-0894. 201-305-0894.
I just can't imagine how a parent could go on a date with someone for hours and not talk about the fact they had a kid.
Because they have other things that they like to talk about.
But that should be the biggest part of your life.
I feel like you said that very sarcastically.
No.
You did
No,
like
no, I mean it.
Okay. Helgene said too many predators out there though. Oh,
See, it's like hanging up on people.
sorry. We'll call Adriana back. That was weird that happened. It didn't even give us. Oh, here.
Oh,
Uh,
so it's ringing. Were we on?
oh, maybe we were still on with Jen.
Is this Adriana?
Yes.
Oh.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So,
Where are you calling from?
Yeah.
I am calling from Ohio.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
So you had mentioned in the chat that you are in a relationship now, but you're a single mom. You've dated as a single mom. What was your experience like, and how soon in the dating process? Well, first off, were you on the apps at all? I guess is where we should start.
Yes, I
Okay.
was on the app.
Did you disclose the fact that you had a child on the apps?
At first, I did, but when a close friend of mine said, well, what about their protection, and what if, God forbid, they're like a creeper or somebody that's just interested in you because you have a kid and they're just looking to get to the kid.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I decided to take that information down, and if it happened to actually get serious, then I would disclose.
Okay.
If not,
That's
then I would just keep it to myself, and that way I didn't waste my time nor the other person's time.
So there's 2 points. First off, I think we've talked about this before. It is much different. The experience on the apps is much different if you're a guy than if you're a girl, right? If you're a girl, there's danger involved, and then that's heightened if you have to take care of another person. So I totally understand that, Adriana. How should I say this? Was there ever a guy who you went on a date with, things were going well, you told him you had a kid, and then it ended?
Yes, but it was not because of me being a single parent. It was just there was no future
Okay.
for both of us. Yeah.
Amanda said, I was completely on Carla Marie's side until this very valid point
Yeah.
was made. No, and I'm 100% with this decision, but I think there also is something for the other side, the people who are like, I don't want to date someone that has a kid. So what is
I think you put that in your profile.
Yes, and that is actually a very good idea to put it on your profile if you're someone that doesn't want to date somebody, because then that way you can just go forward, move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same filter that you're looking for, right? It's the same, this person has a child, this person doesn't, and that's going to be the deciding factor.
You know what's annoying is that creepy people ruin this for everybody.
It is. I mean, creepy people ruin everything for everybody. That's just, unfortunately, the society that we live in. And I talk about this all the time. Like earlier, I was talking about the fact that I love meeting new people, right? And if I was single, I would go out. I don't care. I'd go out on dates with anyone. But I come from the perspective of being a guy. I'm almost 6 feet tall. Like I don't have as much danger as
It's
someone
true.
your size, Carla Marie, would have.
Yeah, but I'll stab them.
How long you're in a relationship right now, right, Adriana?
Correct.
How long into this relationship did you wait to tell the person you had a child?
Well, I couldn't wait that long because he happens to be my neighbor, like the next door neighbor.
He's gonna find out pretty quick.
Very.
Did he just? Is it an apartment building? Did he just move in, or have you known this guy for a long time?
His apartment is like this big house that's divided into like 3 different units, and then my house is just like a family residential house.
Okay.
So,
And did he move in
we're-
recently though, or have you known him for a long time?
no, I didn't even know he was my neighbor until March of this year, and I moved into this house March of last year.
Wait, were you dating before you found out he was your neighbor?
No.
Oh.
Well, I was in a relationship with somebody with my daughter's dad.
Okay.
That ended last year in November, and then I was single up until May of this year.
So
and
then,
so
So you started dating because you saw him as your, like, you saw this guy, he's your neighbor.
yeah, was he like walking a dog? How did you guys How did you guys first interact and decide to date?
well, how I met him was St. Patrick's Day, and I was coming home from the gym, and he was just hanging out on his front porch with the other neighbors, and we just started talking, and
Who needs the apps?
Yeah, I love that. See,
got
this is where I think people just need to be open with the people in their surroundings, get rid of the apps, and meet your neighbor. And hopefully it all works
Love
well.
thy neighbor.
I love that neighbor. Adriana, thank you very much for being part of the show. We appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. You look great.
You
look
look
great.
great. Well, what a day.
Okay, so I think I actually did hang up properly
So weird.
on that.
Fred said he was dating someone for a few months and that woman got super mad at him because he wouldn't let her meet his daughter.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That is very, very weird.
As Martha said, throw her in the garbage.
Yeah. Man, there are such weird people out there. Well, there's a cat screaming out
I
there.
couldn't tell if it was that or sirens.
Yeah, definitely dodged a bullet with that one.
I think I'm going to make a dating app profile just to ask people the questions, the things we talk about on this podcast.
You know what's funny is I was actually going to open up
I just
the app
downloaded Hinge.
just to go through the questions they
Fan.
ask, because a lot of people, like my cousin Michelle said, and Jake and John said this in our group discussion yesterday, a lot of people are like, well, there's a question that asks if
Hinge.
you have children. But there's questions that ask a lot of things. You don't have to answer all of them.
I would be. What? Sorry, we can't find that account.
Either way, it's 9:15. We've taken up enough of your
We got
day.
a pack.
We appreciate you hanging out with us. We do have to pack and get tomorrow's podcast prepared. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. The Morning Show podcast is available, hopefully, wherever you listen to podcasts. So if you haven't done so yet, give that a listen. And tomorrow on the Morning Show podcast, Erica's going to be joining us
Mm-hmm.
for a
We're human.
little Tay-Tay trivia. You good there, Carla Marie?
Marie 83 Marie Smith said, "What? You have dating apps?" No, we like.
No, we don't. I mean, I've
just-
had them in
I
the past.
Attempted to download one during the stream.
I've had them in the past.
Yeah,
I've only met 2 people on the apps.
yeah, mine was not a lot.
It's not great. It's not a great experience in general.
Well-
I do love just chatting with strangers, though.
You do. You love, like, what is it? The chat bait thing?
What?
No, you did that night on YouTube.
Oh,
Live.
that was Omegle?
No,
Omegle?
but what did it used to be called in high college?
Oh, chat roulette?
Yeah.
No, I do not do
You
chat
definitely on
roulette.
chat roulette. You're like, yo, you have kids? I don't care. I'm on chat roulette.
I'm going to swing my meat or whatever they do on chat roulette. Chat roulette's a weird place.
It is.
Thank you very
Okay.
much for hanging out with us. We are going to get out of here, and we will see you Monday morning, hopefully with our voices after When We Were Young Fest. If you're in Vegas this weekend, hit us up. I am at Worst Anthony on Instagram.
I'm at the Carla Marie.
Peace out.